down that way. And you see how all this area, the mountains, have all been carved out by the glacier. Nice U-shaped valley down there. Anywhere in the world you see U-shaped valleys been carved out by a glacier because they're wider. Just unbelievably dense. It's just powerful when it carves out landscape. Even the jagged peaks and cliffs up there were carved by glacial ice that overflowed over the top there.
How do you know when it's going to come by?
Well, it's this is all the ice here you can see. I mean, it's since melted. You can see there's about 250 dogs.
Oh, no thanks.
Okay, so you have
Sounded
the
good.
water in here in the side of this large crack. And this is called a crevasse. It's a fancy French word for crack. And on the surface of the ice, they form because the glacier is moving. The glacier is still moving down that way every day, 4 to 6 inches. Every day, still moving. Okay, so crevasses formed by movement, but you got some other cool things formed by water. When the water's rushing down the surface in the summertime, it'll become into areas like this where it's flat and it can't get out that way, no escape.
No! That's all you can, babe.
Lord.
It's ice underneath. What happens, these are called cams. Really weird the way they work. Things underneath us, with the bedrock underneath us, the ice is flowing down. There must be something underneath it where the ice is just jutting up. So that's why all this dirt is here on the ice, by the way. It's just blown over by the wind from the mountain there. But the thing about these rocks is see how they're all sitting on giant pedestals there? Yeah. Of ice. You see one good one over there, sitting on a pedestal of ice. And this big one right behind us here is sitting on a pedestal of ice right there. The way they do that is they absorb heat during the day. Then at nighttime, they radiate that heat in a circle around it, and they melt the ice and the snow around them. But right where they're sitting,
I haven't come 2,000 miles to discuss the weather.
Your town gets in the line for bruised tomatoes or brown lettuce. It's not a prank. We have 4 full-time police officers. They spend much of their time right inside these doors. We don't really have a crime rate in the area, mostly dogs at large. As I mentioned, your ship is docked at the ore dock, and this will be the easiest access in. This is really the only creek in town where salmon spawn. They've just started to spawn. And in just a few weeks, that creek will be completely filled from side to side with the salmon spawning. There's a blue sign with an H on it. Typically, you'd think a hospital would be nearby. Well, we don't have a hospital in town. We don't even have a doctor. But I'll show you what we do have. We'll turn onto 11th Avenue here. Looking over to the right, you'll see the Dahl Memorial Health Center. We have a few physician's assistants who work here, and extra room commerce right there. Who was very curious about the amount of the right of us. This is where all the maintenance work is done on the White Pass Railway. Thus the old silk trick phrase began. Well, around the same time, he'd read about...
Excuse me, down in the Skagway River. They would not have him in the consecrated ground. Then they packed him adrift for all. Follow us over there. Please watch the step. Like that. Our folks have to get here first, go all the way around here. My God, man, don't shoot! Not me anyway. Remember, those were the last words that click! Nothing happened. That would have been the rest of the story right there, except for a historic twist of fate that day. The hammer had fallen on an empty cartridge. No, he cried. By the time it takes to get another round in the chamber, it's too late. Soapy's seen the look of death in Frank Reed's eyes. He has just enough time to bring that gun back to dead center, and both men fire at the same time. Thanks. Frank Reed, actually, Soapy takes a shot to the heart. He's dead before he hits the dock, and on their way into town. Welcome to Skagway! Didn't happen to any of you folks this morning, did it? We're trying to clean up our act here.
I didn't know about the other.
Now this building, of course, Jeff Smith's parlor, that is evidence of the initial boom and bust of this area. Of course, the gold rush. That
It was on that grave that he lost his airbrace to see what a junkie do. He was going down the grave through 9 miles an hour when his whistle began to scream.
Get out there.
Okay, that one's dead. That's unfortunate.
Excuse me. Go from Chicago.
How did they do that?
No, it's just sauce right now. But
Did you get any on you?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, a little bit on the side. I think so. Here, let me get you a towel.
Thanks.
land glorious and free, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Jerry.